Hi everyone. This is the first time I've done anything like this, and right now I am recording. It's come to my attention lately that I need to do this, and I never thought I'd be one making a YouTube video or publishing anything for the world to see. But I've had two sisters in Christ tell me that I needed to share some of the dreams and the visions that I've had. Um, and I never had any compulsion to do this, but I've I came across a verse, and it's called and it's Ezekiel 33, and here it is. I'll read it out to you. It says, "Again, the word of the Lord came until me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, When I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take a man of their coasts, and set him for their watchman, if, when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. He heard the sound of the trumpet and took not warning, his blood shall be upon him. But he that taketh warning shall deliver his soul. But if the watchman see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, if the sword come and take any person from among them, he is taken away in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hand." Okay, people, when I came across this, I'd never read it before. It kind of blew me away. Then I realized I was supposed to be sharing my dreams and visions with more than just friends and family, because that's where it would stay. And they look at me and say, "Oh, she's nutty, whatever, you know how she is, whatever," and politely ignore me or brush me to the side. And if I'm persistent with something, it's even more polite, but you can tell that they're entertaining me or putting up with what I have to say. But I have to put this out there, and you can think whatever you care to think about this. But I say, take it to the Lord. I'm going to share my dream with you. This dream came to me last year, June or July of 2020, I believe. It may have been early August. So I'll look, because the same week I had this dream, another Watchman, God's Healer 7, had the similar vision and dream that I had. So I'll get started, okay? Don't want to waste your time. So the dream started. I was getting a tour of hell, basically, and I don't know who was my tour guide, but I was being shown hell, and I was protected, and I don't recall whether or not the beings and the people and the animals that were there, if they saw or recognized that I was present, with the exception of two people that I do know and the world knows that were there. They saw me and they actually spoke to me, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But as I was walking around in hell, there were these rooms and these chambers where people were being tortured, all different kinds of torture. Think of torture, that's what was going on, right? Skin being pulled off, people strapped in chairs, all kinds of crazy stuff being done to people. And then I saw these pockets just as I'm walking, in the hallway. These large hallways were 10, 15, 20 feet wide, almost like the size of a room. These hallways, these walkthroughs, pass-throughs. And on the floor, mind you, there was hay, like what you find in a barn where all your animals are, right? So and even these chambers and these stalls and stuff, should I say, stalls, that's a good word for it. There was hay like on the floor. I'm just now remembering that. There was hay all over the place. Now, in the hallways and the walkways between the chambers and the rooms where people were actually being individually tortured, Now I don't recall the torturers, whether they were demonic looking people or whatever. I just remember people being tortured. Okay. Um, but on the floor in the hallway were animals, like dogs and cats and bears and hippos, whatever, animals on the floor. And there were also humans on the floor, and they were writhing uncontrollably, almost like in a sensual, rhythmic type of situation, but they had no control over their ability to stop writhing. They had to continue to writhe, and their eyes were rolled back in their heads, and it was just this unending, um, what is the word I'm looking for? They were writhing, people. They were writhing on the floor, and animals were next to each other. Animals and humans were next to each other. It was human and humans next to each other, and they were in like little groups, and they weren't engaged in sex at all, mind you, but they were just, writhing on the floor. And it was just an unnerving sight. They had no control over their actions or their behavior, and as if they were in a trance or under a spell or whatever. That's what I saw. And then, as I was climbing a ladder to go up to a loft, my tour guide was taking me up to a higher vantage point. When I got up to this loft, who was there? It was the president we had last year. I'll call him President Orange, right? So, and no disrespect, just that I'm just trying not to say these people's names, but you know who I'm talking about. So President Orange was there in the depths of hell, and he had no eyes. Where the color or the whites of his eyes would be, it was all black, and he was quite content and he was happy. And I don't remember what he said to me, but he spoke to me, and looked me directly in the face, and wanted to show me, stuff and everything. And I didn't follow him, but he just walked on by about his business. And then the current president that we have, I'll call him the bumbling president, right? And you guys know why. The bumbling president, he spoke to me too. He was there. Now, mind you, this is a dream that I had last year, summer of 2020, during the the campaign, the presidential campaign for the United States. Um, and maybe had I put this out right, then people would have realized that you shouldn't be taking any sides, left or the right, because it's all just a setup. And even though one party might seem at one point more appealing to the people than the other, and for different reasons, they both appeal for people. And I understand that. I used to be rather political, not very political, but I had my sides. But I realized a long time ago that it was bunk and it was nothing. But anyway, I digress. Getting back to the dream, um, the bumbling president was there, and he spoke to me too. I don't recall what he said, but he was there. And they were just happy to be in hell, both of them, and they were enjoying themselves. Now, let's see here. I'm checking my notes, people, so thanks for your patience here. Now I end up, how dreams just transition and you're in a different space. Now I'm in a completely different space. I'm walking on a flat surface, and the air, the sky, the background, everything is black, or should I say a void. But I'm walking on a flat surface, and that flat surface was representative of Earth. I'm not saying that the Earth is round or the Earth is flat. I'm just saying that the surface that I was on was perfectly flat, and it was representative of what Earth is. And my tour guide was taking me around and explaining things to me. And I'm no longer physically in hell anymore. I'm on the surface of the planet, and I'm on the very, very edge, and there's nothing but black darkness there. There's no stars in the sky or anything. And in the sky is an image of this right here. I'm going to make that large so you can see that. There we go. You see that without the little sun flares in there? It was the image of our sun, and it was just like this in the sky. and it was black in the background, just like this, right? And at the bottom, near the bottom here, below the bottom half of of the um the image was a white band that went around the sun, and then the sun started to spin and increase in its speed and go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. It started going like crazy in its speed. And then I turned my back because my tour guide was telling me, showing me something that I don't recall what he was showing me. It was a male. And then when we turned back around, the sun had turned into a pyramid. And this same line here at the bottom of the sun was still there on the pyramid. But instead of a round circle, it was the shape of a pyramid. And it looked exactly like this, except for a shape of a pyramid. And it was spinning very, very intensely, super duper fast. Now, in the corner of the space I was in, I'll draw this for you. In the corner of the space that I was in is, let me get that. Okay, color, cool. All right, it was a big square like this, right? And this square, I selected this color because this is supposed to represent flames. Okay, so picture a perfectly square box, a frame, a square frame, and the entire frame was aflamed. So it was on fire. Every single centimeter of this frame, of this square frame was on fire. And then inside of the square was a circle, perfect circle. Excuse me, I'm not an artist. I'm doing my best here, people. All right, so there you go. There was a circle. And then let's see here. I'm just going to use a different color just so you can see this. Now, at this point right here, these are the only 2 points where the circle and the square met. Was perfectly at the bottom. And it's kind of like these points were poles, right? And so the circle was spinning inside of the square, going really, really fast. And the circle itself was also in flames as well. And this was over to the side on the edge where me and my tour guide were walking. So we were standing at this point as I'm listening to him explain things. And mind you, I have no idea or recollection what this person was telling me. Even at that time of the dream, I couldn't recall it then. But this thing was spinning super duper fast. And then getting back up here to the sun that's now a pyramid, it's spinning so fast. And then right where the yellow beam is, there is a huge beam of energy that comes from it. And it's like it sends out this gargantuan, like nuclear type of pulse, just one big blast that emanates from the pyramid at that line. And it's so strong, it blows me off of my feet. I land on my rear end. My hair is pushed back. And that's that. So, take this to the Lord, um, and meditate on it. This is just my dream. I haven't made head or tails of it myself, but that's it basically. And look for some more videos from me because I have more dreams to communicate. But that's it. Godspeed to you all, and you have a good one. Bye-bye.